Namaskar, I'm Harpreet Kaur and I welcome you all to our live and interactive session. You are watching us on our eVidya channel number 7 and also on our YouTube channel ncertofficial. Well, today for the students of class 7, we have taken up the subject English. Yes, it's going to be a very interesting and a very useful session because under the subject English, we are going to discuss chapter 2 of your textbook, which is a poem. And the title is The Rebel by DJ Enright. Well, it's a very interesting topic, the rebel. But why the rebel? Who is the rebel? And what is he rebelling about? So we'll talk everything about it. But before that, let me tell you that this session, as always, is, live and interactive, which means you can interact with the expert, you can put forward your questions, your doubts, and you can get the answers instantly, trust me. And for that, you can call us. So please take down our telephone number, which is 8800440559. And also, if you do not want to call us and you wish to send us an email with your feedback and suggestions, please feel free to write to us at dth.class7@ciet.nic.in. And since you're watching us live on our YouTube channel ncertofficial, well, I would like to inform you that you can go to the live chat box or the comment section and you can just type your question there, your doubt there, and you can instantly connect with us. It is going to be a very interesting topic, and who is going to make it interesting, interesting for all of us rather? Of course, our expert for today. So let me introduce you all to her. We are joined by Dr. Ashwini Praveen Tatugade. Ma'am, welcome to the session.
Thank you. Namaskar.
And ma'am is an assistant professor from Department of Languages, NCERT, New Delhi. So, ma'am, the session, of course, it's a poem and it seems quite interesting, The Rebel. I mean, the topic is really interesting. Yeah. So, before we move ahead in the session and we, do this question and answer round, I request you to kindly brief our students and our viewers about what exactly we're going to learn in this session.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. First of all, I'm thankful to you for introducing in a very nice manner.
Thank you.
Today, we are going to discuss a poem written by DJ Enright, and the title of the poem is The Rebel.
So, ma'am, I'm quite excited. I'm sure the students are equally excited to learn more about the poem. Before you start reading the poem and you start making us understand about the sentences, the hidden words, the hidden meaning, ma'am, please tell us something about the poet.
DJ Enright, his full name is Dennis Joseph Enright, and he is a British academician. And he born in 1920 in England in a very middle class family.
Okay.
And he is also known as a poet. Along with being a poet, he is a novelist, editor, publisher, critic, and even children's author.
Creative personality, I must say.
Yeah, right.
Okay. So, that is a brief introduction about the poem. So, ma'am, shall we start the poem now?
Yeah, sure.
All right. So, we can have a look at the PPT and we can go through the poem.
Yeah, before going through the poem, let me put some questions for the learners.
Okay.
And very first question I would like to ask you, ma'am, do you always agree what your parents or siblings say or do, and why or why not?
Oh my God, that's a very tricky question. Well, the answer is absolutely no, because I do not always agree with my parents or my siblings, and in simple words I would like to say, because sometimes I don't find them convincing or they can't convince me, and sometimes when I agree, I find there is a logic in what they're saying. That's it.
Great. But in many times in our day-to-day life, what happens, as you told just that you will not be agree with your all the time with parents or siblings. Same thing happens with a rebel also.
Yeah,
right.
True.
So our parents expect that we should do certain things in a certain way, but we are not ready to do that. And here the poet is going to talk about such an interesting personality.
All right.
Next question. Does someone in your family always suggest something different from what the others say? Have you observed any person like this?
Yes. somebody who is totally different from the rest, I would
Yeah.
say. You know, that particular person has his own direction. Yes, it does happen. And you know what? I'm sure our students can also, can also answer the questions. What students can do, they can, type the answers on our YouTube channel, NCERT official comment section, and you can send those answers to us. And yes, to your question, yes, we always have somebody like that.
Yeah. So, if you have observed any person who always likes to be different, who always put something different, and who stands, as an extraordinary person.
Yes.
The person may be from your family, the person may be from your school community, right now. If you have observed any such a person, then you have to entitle that person in a word. And if you ask me, how can we describe that person in a word, then the answer is a rebel.
Rebel, yes, because he's not agreeing to everything that you're saying, and of course he has a totally different take on something that is conventional or traditional.
Right. Moving forward, we have to look at the title of the poem, and as I told already, what do you think it means or suggests? So already we have talked about it, the rebel, and in the next slide we are going to understand the meaning of this word rebel.
Okay.
So meaning of this word rebel is to fight against, or you can say to oppose something, right? So rebel is a person who always loves to oppose something or to put forth his opinion, which is uncommon one.
Yes, which is uncommon one, and a rebel is not always bad.
Yeah, not at all. We
Okay.
need rebels. We are going to discuss that also.
Yes, we will discuss that in the learning outcome. So let's now just start with the poem, ma'am.
Yeah, one more thing I would like to put here about the pronunciation.
Oh yes, pronunciation.
Okay, so you may have heard many times the word is pronounced as a rebel.
Yes.
And sometimes we pronounce it as a rebel.
Yes.
So maybe you may have a question that why ma'am pronounces it as a rebel and why she pronounces it as a rebel.
True.
So I am going to answer this query. When I pronounce it as a rebel, it works as a noun. And the title of our poem, it is about the person, so it is a noun, and so we have to pronounce it as a rebel.
Right.
And when we pronounce it as a rebel, then it works as a verb.
Okay.
So you may see it in a slide, two pronunciations of this word, rebel and rebel.
Rebel. Okay.
I hope you are enjoying this.
Absolutely, and this is a very great learning. Children, please note that.
Thank you. Now let me read the poem aloud and let us understand what poet wants to convey here.
Yes.
See, our poem starts, listen carefully. When everybody has short hair, the rebel lets his hair grow long. When everybody has long hair, the rebel cuts his hair short. When everybody talks during the lesson, the rebel doesn't say a word. When nobody talks during the lesson, the rebel creates a disturbance. When everybody wears a uniform, the rebel dresses in fantastic dress. When everybody wears fantastic clothes, the rebel dresses soberly. In the company of dog lovers, the rebel expresses a preference for cats. In the company of cat lovers, the rebel puts in a good word for dogs. When everybody is praising the sun, the rebel remarks on the need for rain. When everybody is greeting the rain, the rebel regrets the absence of sun. When everybody goes to the meeting, the rebel stays at home and reads a book. When everybody stays at home and reads a book, the rebel goes to the meeting. When everybody says yes please, the rebel says no thank you. When everybody says no thank you, The rebel says, yes please. It is very good that we have rebels. You may not find it very good to be one DJ Enright. So this is the reading, loud reading of our poem. Poem is meant to read aloud.
Right. So this is such a sweet poem, and ma'am, now that you have read the poem aloud for our students, please tell us what exactly is the theme of the poem.
Yeah. So as if you have gone through the title of the poem, then we have got the meaning what the poet is going to talk about. The poet here talks about a rebellious child, the child who loves to stand different.
True.
And it is quite interesting because in the last couplet, poet is going to give us wonderful message even. And if you observe the poem is written in couplets, and there are 15 couplets in the poem, and it is written in free verse style.
Ma'am, here I will interrupt you. Please make us understand what do we mean by couplets.
Couplets means having two lines.
Okay.
Right now.
Ending with the rhyming words, two lines.
Rhyming or without rhyming.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Okay. So let us understand poem line by line.
Yes.
So the question which you asked me, what is the theme? We will understand it in a better way when we discuss the poem line by line.
Sure, ma'am.
Okay. So let us start with
Yes.
the first line of the poem. When everybody has short hair, when everybody has short hair, the rebel lets his hair grow long. So these are two lines.
Yes.
First one, when everybody has short hair, the rebel lets his hair grow long. Okay. And what happens in the next couplet? When everybody has long hair, the rebel cuts his hair short. So here poet has used opposition.
Yes.
When everybody prefers style of having short hair, what rebel will do? Rebel will let his hair grow long.
Yes.
And when everybody prefers to have a style of long hair, the rebel cuts his hair short. So ma'am, what do you think? What does this rebel love? Does he love long hair or short hair?
I believe the rebel loves to actually oppose, to go against the norm, to challenge the norm.
Right, exactly. Here, rebel, doesn't love anything. He just loves to be different.
Yes.
Right? Means he doesn't love even short hair or long hair. He loves to oppose, and that is the nature, that is the characteristic of a rebel.
So if everybody is going north, the rebel will go to south.
South, right, exactly.
Okay.
Okay, nice. It's really interesting, and I'm sure that you are going to enjoy it and you will remember it as well.
Yes.
Okay, coming to the next. When everybody talks during the lesson, you may guess it, what might rebel do? So when everybody talks during the lesson, the rebel doesn't say a word. Means when everybody is engaging or is engaged in discussion, gossiping, and taking active participation in the classroom, that time rebel will
Just calm,
calm,
not saying a word.
And opposite happens in the next couplet. When nobody talks during the lesson, then of course you may guess it, the rebel creates a disturbance.
Oh, disturbance.
Why?
Wow.
Why? Because he wants to look different.
Oh, yes. So there is an innate desire to look different all the time.
All the time. And that is the characteristic of his personality.
Yes.
His or he, her you may say.
Yes.
Okay. And in the next couplet, when everybody wears a uniform, then you may guess it what the rebel does. The rebel dresses in fantastic dress.
Yes.
Fantastic clothes. Okay. So when everybody wears a uniform, the rebel dresses in fantastic clothes. Opposite happens in the next couplet. When everybody wears fantastic clothes, the rebel dresses soberly. See how poet has observed the character of the rebel. right now.
You know, he will look different in the crowd of thousands because of this unique characteristic of his or her personality.
Yeah, and he always, loves to, go against the flow.
Yes.
Right. So, when everybody is looking serious, having in uniform, everybody is, they are sober, that time a rebel prefers fantastic dress.
True.
And wants to look different. And when everybody is in fantastic dress, then a rebel goes for uniform like dress,
So,
sober dress.
I think we can say, with certainty that a rebel never dresses as per the occasion.
Yeah.
Rebel is always different.
Different. That's why that person is called as a rebel. Right. And next couplet is also interesting one. In the company of dog lovers, the rebel expresses preference for cats. Means here the poet from appearance to the preference. Poet has come here from appearance to preference.
Right.
And opposite happens in the next couplet. In the company of cat lovers, the rebel puts in a good words for dogs.
Yes, true.
So, isn't it funny one?
Absolutely.
It's really funny.
Because dogs and cats as pets are totally different animals with different characteristics. One, loves to stay at home, another, wants to go astray. So, this is a totally different thing, and the rebel is proving here that he or she is no different.
Again, the same question, ma'am. What does rebel loves, dogs or cats?
Well, rebel just want to look different. He or she doesn't love either cat or dog. That's totally clear.
Yeah, you may also answer in comment box.
Yes.
What do you think here? In the next couplet, when everybody is praising the sun, the rebel remarks on the need for rain. Means when everybody expects sunlight, everybody expects sun, everybody is praising sun, at that time the rebel expects rainfall.
Yes.
And you may guess it now, when everybody is greeting the rain, what will our rebel do? The rebel regrets the absence of sun. Now he wants sunlight. Okay.
So, I think rebel is somewhere not even sure whether he or she likes sunlight or the rain. The only thing that he or she is sure about, to look different, to fight, to oppose.
Yeah,
Yes.
right, exactly, you have got it. So, when everybody goes to the meeting, it is again interesting one, when everybody goes to the meeting, the rebel stays at home and reads a book. See the character of our this person. When everybody goes to the meeting, when everybody is serious about the work,
Yes.
that rebellious person will he would like to prefer to be at home and read a book.
Yes.
And opposite happens in the next couplet, when everybody stays at home and reads a book, what our rebel will do? He will go to the meeting. Okay, so the rebel goes to the meeting.
So, that means when everybody else is socializing, the rebel is very comfortable at his or her home, and when everybody wants to stay at home peacefully, the rebel is out partying and having fun.
Yeah, right, absolutely. Next couplet, when everybody says yes please, then the rebel says no thank you.
Wow.
Okay, when everybody is expecting something more opportunities, more chances, having more experiences, that time our rebel will say no thank you, that's enough for me. And in the next couplet, when everybody says no thank you, of course the rebel says yes please. Right, this is again interesting one, and we are coming to the last couplet of the poem, which is quite interesting and informative one, and here lies the message of the poem. So, let me read the last couplet. It is very good that we have rebels. You may not find it very good to be one.
Yes.
Okay, so what poet here wants to convey us learners, that poet wants to say that it is very good that we have rebels, but you may not find it very good to be one.
Well, it's very deep actually. Ma'am, like do you, would you allow me to, answer my understanding of the same?
Yeah, sure.
Well, you know what? It's very difficult to be a rebel because when everybody is actually following one direction and you become different by challenging the norm, by opposing what is wrong, or by supporting what is right, you definitely come across as a rebel, and not everybody is going to like it. And the one who is a rebel, as you said, it's very difficult because the one is challenging the norm, the people, sometimes supporting, sometimes not supporting. But the rebel knows what he or she is doing.
Yeah, of course. And that's why poet here says that it is good that we have, it is not just good, poet says it is very
good to have rebels.
To have rebels. Why? Because these rebels add new perspectives.
And they bring change. They are a beacon of change, a ray of hope for something dark and gloomy.
Yeah, of course, right, exactly. And therefore, the poet says it is very good to have rebels in our society.
Yes.
Right? But in the next line, poet says, you may not find it very good to be one. What do you think, ma'am? Why the poet says like this? It is not very good to be one.
Because it is very difficult to swim against the tide of the river.
Exactly.
Because when there are people following a set pattern of life and you are challenging the norm, you are one against so many. People are against you, no matter how right you are, no matter how good you are. But there are people who will criticize you for being right.
Yeah.
So remember, being a rebel is a difficult one.
Exactly. And rebel always, because of his activities, because of his likes and preferences, he always becomes the target of criticism.
Exactly.
And we learners, we have to remember that we human beings are social animals. We need society to move forward, right now, and we cannot be alone all the time. So we have to work together. When we work together, we can achieve more. And maybe for that reason, the poet here advises to the learners or to the readers that it is not good to always oppose something.
Yes, always.
Sometimes it is good one, but it is not good all the time to oppose every situation.
Absolutely. You must choose what is right and stand with the people, follow the people, listen to the people, and then put your point across. No point in being a rebel, without any logic.
Yeah.
So, ma'am, what will you say? Is it good or bad to be a rebel? What's your take on this?
Okay, thank you. What I think, a rebel we can divide in two categories, as good rebel and bad rebel.
Yes.
Actually, learners, this word rebel has a deep layer of meaning. You may have heard about the political rebels. Means here, the person challenges authority.
Yes.
Right now, and person challenges, unjust treatment, injustices. So it has a deeper meaning, but we are not going to going into that meaning. Here the poem is for our learners like we people, and it is written in a very funny and casual mode. So the meaning of the word remains to these daily casual situations. So talking about a rebel, whether it is good or bad, we can divide it into categories, good rebels and bad rebels.
Yes.
So bad rebels, they break rules. Means not being in a uniform is a breaking of a rule. It is not at all.
Yes.
So bad rebels break rules.
They are indisciplined people.
Yeah. They spread negativity.
Yes.
Of course, and they are me focused. So
self-centered.
Yeah, self-centered. Bad rebels are not good at all. But good rebels, they spread positivity. They good rebels, don't break rules, but they change rules.
They change rules. Absolutely. What a beautiful statement, ma'am. Good rebels, they don't break rules. They change the rules actually.
And good rebels are mission focused.
Yes.
They are not me focused.
And they're looking at a particular goal basically, a long-term goal. They're not short-sighted and they're not self-centered that, only I need to look for what is good for me. No, they are looking for the collective good of the society.
Of course. So that's why poet says rebels are good. They are very good to have rebels in the society. Okay, and we have to understand this. Okay, in the next slide I have shown you a picture and how this rebel looks like.
Can we have the picture, please?
Yeah. So all are green leaves and one is a red.
Yeah.
Red here is a rebel.
Rebel.
So see the picture, it looks different. What catches our attention that not all the green leaves but the red one.
Yes.
So the personality of the rebel is like the same. He looks different, he stands different. And in the next slide also you may hear you have 5 white aeroplanes, right, na paper aeroplanes, and one is red.
Yes.
Red here is the
Stands out.
rebel.
It's a different one. It stands out and it's a rebel. All right. And ma'am, now we are almost running short of time, so I would like you to ask the very last question that we have almost understood the learning outcome of this particular chapter. So if you can explain more about it, that why we have introduced this chapter for the students of class 7, and also what would be your advice to the children?
Yeah, of course. So, learners or students of class 7, they are in the stage of being teenagers.
Yes.
And in this stage, children like to look different. They are, going to be mature. And here they want independence. They always rebel against their parents, against their teachers, or against whatever
Yes.
social member around them may be.
Yeah.
Poet here wants to convey to our students that, dear students, this is the personality of the rebel and you just don't try to be like that. So my suggestion to my dear learners is the same, that if there is any situation which is which you want to change, then of course you may prefer being a rebellion.
Yes.
But just for breaking the rules, just for the position, you don't go for rebel.
Exactly. And ma'am, with this, we have reached the climax of this very beautiful and interesting session. So viewers and learners, that was our very interesting discussion on the rebel. Yes, it was a poem basically by DJ Enright for the students of class 7 under the subject English. And ma'am, for your wonderful contribution, for such wonderful presentation, I would like to thank you on behalf of all the students. Thank you so much.
Thank you, thank you. Have a good time.
Thank you so much. And students and viewers, that was our wonderful discussion. I hope you enjoyed the poem as much as I did. And now it's time for me to wrap up this session over here. But in a short while from now, you can watch our next live and interactive session. जी हाँ, उसका टॉपिक रहेगा Amazon बेसिन में जीवन. ये एक social science का टॉपिक है. Do watch the session and it's going to be very interesting one, and don't forget to share basically your feedback and your suggestions. With this, it's a wrap. I'll see you very soon. This is me, Harpreet Kaur, taking leave of you for the moment. Namaskar.